This month, Germany marks the 75th anniversary of the Night of Broken Glass, the beginning of the Holocaust. But has the culture of remembrance kept up with the times?
Remembrance, guilt, and reconciliation are themes that cultural historian Aleida Assmann has studied and contemplated for many years. Today she sees Germany at a turning point. A new generation feels put off by the culture of remembrance.
Commemoration was very much the generational project of the 1968 revolt, of people who confronted the generation of their parents, who didn't want to think about the Nazi period. Now we have a new confrontation between generations, between those who made remembrance a leading aspect of their life plan and saw it as their task, and the generation of their children and grandchildren who no longer understand why that first generation is so obsessed with these memories.
The generation of the student revolt coined the expression culture of remembrance. They were the children of Nazis or of the Nazis' victims. They didn't accept the silence. Instead, they created memorials. For example, the Memorial for the Murdered Jews of Europe. And the Topography of Terror, the documentation center on the site of the former Gestapo headquarters. Both memorials draw many visitors, school classes and tourists. In the 1980s, attention focused on witnesses to the period who could speak about German history from their personal experience. Survivors of the Nazi regime told school classes about their persecution. Many nations praised West Germany for its willingness to discuss and face up to the Nazis' crimes. In 1989, communism collapsed and the Berlin Wall fell. Germany reunited, and two different ways of dealing with the Nazi past confronted each other. Communist East Germany had made it easy for itself by claiming that all the Nazis were in the West.
There was the question of reconciling the two ways of remembering the Nazi dictatorship. East Germany interpreted it completely differently. It saw itself exclusively as the victim and the heroic resistance fighter. And then there was also a second memory of dictatorship piled onto the first. 12 years of the Nazis, and then another 40 years of communism, which was much more recent. And many people were worried that what we thought we had established might now crumble away.
The end of communism and reassessing its dictatorships. These were themes not only in Germany, but in all the countries of Eastern Europe. Even if Poland annually commemorates the victims, like here in Auschwitz, and Russia celebrates its victory over Hitler's Germany, in many places people suppress the memory of their own complicity and collaboration. It's much more comfortable to present oneself as a former victim.
Don't forget that the gulags and the deportations that were also going on during World War II were very profound experiences for these states. And after the war, they did not have the opportunity to work through this or to give it expression, because they were now in a political alliance with their opponent, so to speak. And the communist regimes did not permit expression of these memories.
Aleida Assmann thinks only future generations will be able to remember differently, seeing themselves as mixtures of victim and perpetrator. Germany has come to another turning point. The familiar rituals that remind Germans of their parents' and grandparents' guilt. How do young immigrants see them, people with a German passport but no German history behind them? In recent decades, Germany has become a country of immigration. What effects will that have on the culture of memory?
We Germans who have parents who experienced the war, ultimately that excludes these immigrants. We have to think about how they can develop meaningful access to this history. That shouldn't be difficult because this memory of the Holocaust plays a big role outside of Germany too. You can take many different positions, but in any case it's important to know about this history and to be in contact with it if you live in this country. Because if you go elsewhere as a German, you will carry this kind of mark of Cain with you.
Als Deutscher, dann wird man diese Art von Merkmal mit sich tragen.
At the same time, the new immigrants bring their own history along with them, helping the German way of looking at things move toward a common history as victims, perpetrators, and human beings.